some problems. Well, I would think that we even could have an optimistic point of view about museums and coronavirus because our experience has been quite positive. It's a terrible time, but we learned a lot, and many people were quite interested by what we were doing. Of course, COVID is accelerating changes, but changes which were already at stake. The pandemic has accelerated, for example, the digital revolution, the link between face-to-face activity and digital activity. And it has provoked a Copernican change. Now, the virtual digital is at the base of the museum. The face-to-face, the physical museum is its output. And I think that will not change again. So the privilege of recovering our face-to-face activities will have a different background, a different basement than before. And if you can look at the second image, Yelena, please. So we are in an urban world and we are in a virtual and digital world, and we have to find a new critical enlightenment because digital does not mean that everything is virtual. Without objects, without real things, digital virtual is a fake. And that's what we tried to stress during these months in which we worked quite hard. So I think that perhaps it's interesting to put it in a kind of decalogue based in our experience. So next. In that decalogue, first, a conceptual revolution, the redefined city museum. We really need that ICOM finds the new definition of museums. We really need a new definition for the 21st centuries. However, city museums, so close to citizens, much more than other museums, can act as if this definition already exists. From Barcelona, for example, we speak of city museums as heritage kits of urban knowledge and construction of citizenship. Heritage kits, heritage institutions of urban knowledge and construction of citizenship. So we really must redefine our institutions, and it will be really helpful if ICOM can really decide the new general museum definition. But anyway, city museums can really push their own way to a new definition. Second, please. So then a narrative revolution. Yes, I think that after all, since we are in a digital world, we are more and more in the internet, we are really much more present in all over the world. We need really to do a lot of research. We need to understand that we cannot only do diffusion. If you have there the objects of everybody, you can say, oh, after all, these are my objects. I tell something, here we are. But if you are all around the world through your web page, through your activities, you really need to do research to create new knowledge. And objects cannot be the starting point. They are the point of arrival. Without objects, no knowledge. But without knowledge, the objects are only there for the persons who can appreciate them. And more, there is a lot of people who can see what the museum does from far away. So we need a lot of research about urban narratives to have our place in this big world of knowledge through virtual reality. Third, but our narrative revolution would be nothing without a heritage revolution. Look, banks have the value of money. They have the possibility to say, well, we have gold, we have some assets, we have other things which are the proof that something has a value. Museums have objects. But now, thanks or because of the pandemics, I think that strategic collecting is becoming more and more important. We had the occasion to think, oh, we have to show our objects not only for our collection in our rooms of exhibition, but we can have our objects to really be the witnesses of narratives that we project all over the world. So we have really to stress that strategic collecting is important. It's not anymore collecting and collecting. It's strategic collecting linked to new narratives. Next one, please. And then here comes it. I think that we really must go in a format revolution. I don't believe that exhibitions is still the king size. Exhibitions are an important activity of city museums, but city museums, their specificity is that they are in the city. They produce guides, they produce books, they produce many audiovisual materials, they produce georeferentiated cartography. They are, for example, in Europe, in the European Time Machine. All these formats must be considered equivalent. I think that if we understand that, our capacity to show a point of view from our respective cities all over the world will be really enlarged. So exhibitions, but other formats of museum work, which really are linked to people, to many, many places, and not only in our city. Next one, please. But, of course, we are all over the world, but first of all, this digital future face-to-face narrative and collecting revolution means also that we have to change our point of view about education. Now, through distance learning, through Zooms, through Jitsi, through teleconferencing, we can be really present in schools. Schools perhaps come less to the museum than before, but we can be much more in the schools before. So the link between museum and schools can be really reinforced. And we have perhaps the possibility to really become a museum school in which the border between culture and education is not anymore important. We have really the possibility to link culture and education, and this moment can propitiate an evolution. Next one. Then something strange and incredible. We have noticed that many old people were connected through different kind of networks, through Zoom, through Jitsi, through Webex, through others. So paradoxically, we were much more linked to people in the city than before. Perhaps not the amount of people being there in an exhibition, but people linked in a meaningful way. And that's how, for example, presential activities like this kind of Dogville of creating a housing museum in the streets now proved to be the basement of research, of seminars, of activities which were quite sustainable during the pandemic confinement. So we really found that this kind of new activities provoked more important contact with citizens. So face-to-face and virtual activities linked in that kind of proximity city museum. Next one. And then, what about tourism? Well, of course, you know that Barcelona was an industrial city, and then we went perhaps too much to tourism. The problem is that now there are no tourists. It's empty. And we thought that we could help to change tourism, to find an alternative tourism if we really pushed the idea of museum to take away. So that if I am in Vladivostok, in Japan, in New Zealand, or South Africa, or America, or in the Pacific, and I have really the possibility through the museum to have general view of the city, I can be really a much better tourist than before. What was in the 18th century the grand tour of the European elites perhaps could now be the grand tour for everybody, really having the possibility to know what to do when you are at home and then visit what you want, not being as in the traditional tourism there one thing after the other, just going to what are you interested to visit. So this idea of having packs to take away is important. Next one. 8. Of course, that has been possible because thanks or well, the pandemic has been a disaster. It has been a disaster, but we learned to work in a much more horizontal way of doing. So we have had so many hours of meeting all together, meetings of 10, 12, even 20 persons discussing about the museum. And also then with people outside the museum, that this horizontal museum meant that the capacities of everybody were much more important than in a hierarchical museum. So this kind of organizational revolution, that kind of change inside the museum has been really extremely accelerated by this terrible situation. Next one. And then, is that sustainable? What to do? Yes, it's true that the situation in museums is really very different. If you really need your tickets to get the money, or if you're publicly funded, the situation is very different. But I think that here it's important that we must vindicate the City Museum as public service. And it's very important to say that this role of City Museum of Public Service has two things to take into account. First, we can be really a basic service for everybody, like the schools. Museums are not only in cultural policy, but must be also in urban policy. If we are both in cultural policy and urban policy, that means that City Museum must be everywhere in the city as other kind of activities like schools, libraries, and so on. But then comes a second thing. We are the top of a pyramid. We are the tip of an iceberg. If museums collapse, it's a whole sector of the industry which collapses. So funding publicly museums is not funding publicly museums, is funding a whole cultural sector. And that should be taken into account by the authorities. Museums are not museums. Museums are at the top of cooperatives. When you are really linked to a neighborhood, really linked to an area, the possibility of working in a cooperative way or funding it in a cooperative way is really a possibility. A second one is that, as we said, selling packs of museum knowledge to visit the city is a second idea. Tourism should be thought in another way, and city museums have their place there. And finally, third one is that we are very good and we could export knowledge. Knowledge for export. Museums have a lot of abilities. They can go from creating new narratives, that's in the image on the left, to restoring and creating new heritage. And that's a know-how which they should be paid for. And then 10, the last one, the solidarity revolution, the resilient city museum. I think that as cultural facilities, as primary educational and cultural facilities to ensure social cohesion, heritage innovation, and the promotion of the city, we said that we really should have public funding and should find new ways of of finding the money for the museums. But that needs also another thing. we must be solidarian with people who works for us. People working in the museums is not only people working in the museums. There is a lot of outsourcing. The more the private people are outside the museum. How could we talk about the city if we don't take care of all the people working directly or indirectly for the museum? That's important. And it's important also that this solidarity revolution takes into account the different situation of different city museums. What has happened in Rotterdam, where the Museum Rotterdam is being closed by the local authorities, is incredible. I cannot believe that it's possible to not to understand that without a city museum you lose a capacity of being important for your city. So conclusion, to finish with that, I think that we can take advantage of this terrible situation to make a step further, to go from the city museum to the citizens museum. And that if we do so, when the pandemic is over, we will have the results for the best. And city museums can perhaps will be able to help more in the problems of everyday world. So as I said at the beginning, I just wanted to put some optimism in the middle of the terrible difficulties we all have, because of course Barcelona is not different from Krakow, from New York, and from Frankfurt or Lisbon or others. And that's it. Thank you.